Here we go. I think this is where I was at. Maybe it was just a tad bit over here. And I'm going to start. Here we go. Wait. Let me get a little bit more over there. Start now. All right, integrals of a function, 6.1b, more rules and marginal analysis. So I'm going to give you 3 rules to start with. They're pretty easy because we first start with the rule of e to the x, integral of e to the x. Well, what was the derivative of e to the x? It was itself. So guess what the integral of e to the x is? E to the x plus k. So that's pretty simple. All right, e to the ax. So before you took it times a, now what's the opposite of times? Divide. So the integral of e to the ax dx is 1 over a e to the ax plus k, or I could have written e to the ax over a plus k. Either way is correct. All right, and the last but not least is the rule number 6 is the integral of 1 over x dx. Now remember what the derivative of ln of x was. The derivative of ln of x was 1 over x. So the integral of ln of x is, or the integral of 1 over x is the ln of x plus k. All right, you have to understand that you just put that number in there. All right, so now we're going to get to some problems. So they try to mix you up on these problems. Number 1, example 1, it's number 7 in the book, is integral of e to the x plus e to the negative x all over 2 dx. Well, I first chose to split them up. Okay, so I went e to the x over 2 plus e to the negative x over 2. I have not derived it yet. Now I'm going to derive each separately. I didn't write it separately, but you could have written this one and then this one, but I didn't. So e to the x over 2 is going to be itself, e to the x over 2, or you could put the 1/2 on the outside. Almost the same with this one. This is e to the x, negative x over 2. Well, what happens with that negative 1? That negative 1 is considered the a, and the a goes on the bottom. Or in this case, when you take e over 2, it's going to be minus 1 over 2, e to the negative x plus k. Now again, you could have written that one as e to the x over 2 minus e to the negative x over 2 plus k. Go ahead and leave that e to the negative x on the numerator. It's okay. All right, that was rule 1 and 4 and 5. Now on B, we're going to use rules 6 and 7. This is I believe it's still number 7 in the book. All right, we have integral of 3x to the 7th minus 4x dx all over x squared. My bad. So what have I tried to train you guys to do right away? Split these up. 3x to the 7th over x squared minus 4x over x squared. Then you clean it up. After you split up, you clean up. So x to the 7th over x squared is 3x to the 5th, but 4x over x squared is going to be 4 over x. Now you integrate separately, okay? So you're going to integrate this one like we did on lesson 1, 3x to the 6 over 6, but the 3 and the 6 are going to divide out. I was too lazy to rewrite it, plus that I don't have space. Minus 4 over x. Well, we learned that 1 over x was the ln of x, so 4 is just multiplied times ln of x plus k. So final answer, x to the 6th over 2 minus 4 ln of x plus k. I should tell you that they always put the absolute value signs around the x on the ln. It's not absolute necessary when it's just an x, but when you have a function of like x plus 2 or something in there, then you must do it. That's another day, another dollar for that one. All right, lucky us, we get word problems now. Don't want to forget our word problems. And what else besides marginal analysis, which means revenue and cost functions? Of course. So we're going to find the revenue and cost functions. We're going to integrate the revenue, marginal revenue, r prime of x dx to get r of x plus k. And we're going to integrate c prime of x dx, which is equal to c of x plus k. All right, and here's our problem to start with. This is example 8 in your book. So I did not write all the words down from example 8. So here we go. Ready? A manufacturer has a marginal cost production of C prime of x equals 2x plus 6. where X is the number of units. This all in aqua was the word problem. I circled this or boxed this purple part for a reason, just a minute. Where X is the number of units, the final cost, the fixed cost is $9. Find the cost of the production. So they want me to find the C of X, not the C prime of X. So what do you have to do to C prime of X? I'm assuming that you're going to tell me, take the integral. The integral of 2x plus 6 dx. So the integral of 2x is 2x squared over 2 plus integral of 6 is 6x plus k. The problem with this function, even if you do reduce the 2's out, x squared plus 6x plus k, is you actually have to solve for k. So this part here where it says the fixed cost is $9, that means when x is 0, the answer is $9. When x is 0, oopsie, when x is 0, the answer is $9. I don't have my pen, so that's supposed to be a 9 there. So I put the 9 in for the C of x, 9 in for that C of x, equals 0 squared plus 6 times 0 plus k. Solve out, these two cancel, so k equals 9. Then put it back into the function so you have an answer. You will actually solve for k on these. You will not have a plus k answer. So you'll have C of x equals x squared plus 6x plus 9. That will be your cost function. All right, get that written down because you're going to have to remember that for the next problem, because the next problem uses this problem, but I can't hold two boards up at once. Well, and have you see them all. All right, are we ready? All right, here we go. Next problem. More words. Let me see where we're at. Pretty good. All right. Using the previous problem, suppose the manufacturer receives a price of $60 per unit. That means that means revenue. So your R prime, marginal revenue, is going to be 60. Find the revenue function. So what am I going to do with this first function? Integrate it to find R of x. So you integrate 60, you get 60x plus k. But again, you need to solve for k. Well, find for x equals 0 to find k. R equals 0, 60 times 0 plus k is 0 because there's nothing added to it. So k is 0, so R of x is just 60x. Okay? So now this is where you have to look at the last problem on this next section. Find the profit function. Well, hopefully you remember from many of your wonderful lessons I've taught you on profit, revenue, and cost, that profit is revenue minus cost. Profit is revenue minus cost. You also have to remember the cost function on the previous problem was x squared plus 6x plus 9. So you had to note those two things. So what is profit? Revenue minus cost. So 60x minus, notice I put quantities because you're going to have to distribute that negative. Negative quantity, x squared plus 6x plus 9, distribute it. 60x minus x squared minus 6x minus 9. Distribute the negative and combine like terms. The profit function is going to be negative x squared plus 54x minus 9. So if I just ask you for the profit function, you're completed. But I didn't. I have two more problems. Find the sales volume that yields the maximum profit. Well, when did we talk about maximum? And this is going to be on your next quiz, so good time to remember. Maximum is the first derivative. And we talked about when the cost revenue derivative equals the cost derivative, that is when you're going to have a max profit. We discussed that, long before school. I think it was in 5.4, which is on your next quiz. That's tomorrow. So we have 60 equals 2x plus 6. Why did we use the original R primes? Because that's what it is. We don't use the cost functions. We use the derivative. We solve it out. We minus 6. We divide by 2. We get 54 divided by 2 is 27 units. That is your sales volume is 27 units. But letter D asks for find the profit that the sales volumes are going to be that. So that means we need to put the profit into this function right here, this profit function, negative 27 squared plus 54 times 27 minus 9 do all the math. Yes, Spencer, you get to use your calculator, is $720. That is your profit function. Now that's all the examples I'm going over, but I want to make a note of something. These two problems were when the fixed cost was a certain number. And the fixed cost meant x was equal to 0. Note, the function does not always have x equals 0. Sometimes I say it can be when I don't necessarily say x equals 1 or x equals 2. I might say on the first attempt. So that is when x equals 1. Or the second attempt, that's when x equals 2. So if I did that on the previous problem and I said when x equals the first unit, then I'd have to put a 1 into there. So on the revenue function on the previous problem, I would have put 60 times 1 plus k equals 0, because that's when it started, minus 60, k would equal negative 60. And your revenue function would be 60x minus 60. Be careful on what I asked for. If it's fixed cost, it's x equals 0. If it's not, and the words of wisdom in there are something else, you have to put what x is. The first time, the fifth time, whatever. You have to put that in. Now your assignment for 6.1b, again, you don't have a syllabus yet. It is in 6.1. I don't even know what page we're on. 420 something. You're going to do 21, 25, 36, 37, 41, 45, and 47, A through D. That's going to be the one that's going to be similar to this word problem. All right, that's all for 6.1b. Don't forget you have videos that you can watch. It does talk about the E rule and the LN rule on the videos on the second part of the videos. Second part of the videos has these E rules and LN rules. All right, I'm done. Hopefully this is less. Let's see what kind of time it is.